Hello everybody, welcome to TradeScope. My name is Luis Garcia. I'm a part-time trader and this is my weekly recap where I go over all the stocks that I've been trading and what I'm looking at on my watch list. Before I get started, I'd like to mention that this video is for educational purposes only and is not to be taken as financial advice. With all that said, let's get started because I had quite a busy week. I was off all week from my day job, so that left me with a little bit more time to trade, and I definitely tried to capitalize on that. Total profit for the week is only $300, so it's not like I made much more than my typical goal, but I did trade a few more things. I made a bit more. I made more trades, and I changed my strategy up a little bit. So let's start with the first trade that I made this week, which was on RELI. This was on my momentum scanner on Monday. It was up like 300%, something crazy like that. Let's see if we can get into the daily. Here's the 5 minutes. Just move this along to Monday. So on Monday, this thing gapped up. Like I said, it was like 300%, something like that. I got in for, let's see, on my notes here, I got in at 410 and sold at 426 with 1,500 shares. So that gave me like, what, $200 profit, a little less than $200, something like that. Trying to think where I got in here. So I believe it was definitely before the bell. I think it was right in this area. So I had seen that it already popped up to 489. That was kind of my initial target. This kind of like line right there. So I got in somewhere in here, and then I think I sold. Sorry, let's redo that. I got in on the break of 4 at 410 on one of these candles right here at this level. And then I think at one point, if I go back to my crosshair, yeah, it jumped up, and that's when I sold it, basically. So it was a quick trade. I was in and out. That's kind of how these momentum trades go, especially when you're dealing with the gap up scanner, the pre-market scanners, these low float, high momentum stocks that are up 300% on pretty much no news. If you look at my news feed, there was no news for this on Monday. Not really. Reflects on a transformative year and looks ahead. So not really anything major as far as news goes. So when you see these types of things on the gap scanner, momentum scanners, pre-market, you really got to be careful. You got to be in and out, and you have to really watch your stop losses. So that was RELI. Let's talk about another trade I made on Monday, which was TRAW. These two trades is where I made most of my money for the week. So let's see here. On Monday, this was also on the pre-market scanner. And I believe, let's see, I bought in for the break of $12. So as you can see, it hit 20 bucks at one point. This thing ripped, man. But I only got a little slice of that, which I'm okay with because, like I said, with these low float momentum stocks, up to 300% in the morning, pre-market, you got to be really careful. If it's up 200%, right, that may make you think, oh, I can just buy now and it'll go higher another 100% or another 25%, 50%, right? But chances are, if it's up 3 times what it was the day before, it's very likely that you're going to lose 2/3 of your investment, right? If you hold on too long. This one actually held up pretty well, but even here you can see like it hit 20. If you had bought in at like 17, yeah, it almost hit 20. If you had bought in at 20, by the next morning you would have been down 50%. You know, so these are the types of things you got to watch out for with these types of stocks, which is why I don't trade them all the time. anyways, that being said, I got in for the break back over 12. I believe it was like right here. Again, it was pre-market. I wasn't looking for anything crazy, just a few cents of profit, and that's what I got. 150 shares, break of 12. Sold at 12.35, so made like a little less than 75 bucks, 50 bucks, something like that. Ended the day a little under $300 in profit. And then that was it for Monday. And then I didn't really trade much for the rest of the week. I took a look on Friday. Again, using the same scanners, gap scanners. I'll have to do a video on my trade ideas scanners at some point. But here we are on Friday, LAES, regains compliance. This has been a hot mover, catalyst for low floaters this year, is regaining compliance with NASDAQ. Really, that's not great news at all. It just means that they didn't get delisted. So, again, got to be careful with these stocks. So I was trading this, I believe, after the open. Let's see, I got in with 500 shares at $8.30 and got out at $8.52. So maybe this wasn't at the open, I think. Yeah, it was. I remember this now. So this is the 5 minute. Let me find where it was. I believe, let's see. It was down here. Yeah, it was down here. So I got in pretty much right around here. Here, let me get the doodle out, get a good color. So I got in at this candle right here, right? That's a really bad drawing. This candle right down here. And what I was looking for is a bounce, right? Because it had already come down to the 200-day moving average. This 5 minute candle was setting up for a nice spindle candle, which indicates, maybe the selling is going to reverse, at least for the time being, and it was going to try to pop back over the 200. That's pretty much exactly what happened, so I'm happy with that. And like I said, just a few cents of profit. I got in at 8.30. I held with a decent stop loss. And I got out on the next candle as it broke over 8.50. 20 cents profit with 500 shares. I made $100. So that put me up $400 for the week. So those are all the trades I made this week that I had a profit on. Now let's talk about some other trades I made this week that I'm going to be holding or adding to my positions. So the first one is the infamous, notorious FUBO. I still have not gotten out of this one. Let's take a look at the daily chart to see what we're looking at here for technicals. So if you've been following the channel, I've been in this stock since right about here. And I was hoping for a break over that 186 line. It didn't hit it. It kind of bounced around. So I've been tracking this channel, right? It came back to it came back to around 180 right here. And then it crashed back to the bottom of the trend line. It's been trying to hold that trend line, as you can see right there. And so this is where I've decided to get in with almost doubling my size. So I bought here, this week I bought 500 and then an additional 250. So now my total position size is 1750 position size, and my stop, my stop is going to probably be like way down here now, or potentially if it just breaks if it breaks through this trend, this channel here, and it shows that it's just not gonna hold that channel, that's probably a good stop loss to take too. But what I'm really looking for is it to go back into this channel. There's a good chance that it will, since this is the channel it's been trading in for 2 months now, since September, right? And because I averaged down, my new average is 166, so it's right about there, right? So now I don't have to wait for this thing to go back to the top of the channel. It just needs to go into the middle of the channel somewhere, and I can at least break even, get out for a small loss. So that's kind of the that's kind of what I'm looking for. So that's everything with FUBO. Let's move on because I still got one more to talk about here, and that is Amazon. So this may be surprising if you've been following me, but yes, I am talking about Amazon. So every once in a while, I trade these big guys. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've taken options positions on NVIDIA in the past, and I'm doing a similar strategy with Amazon going into next year. So the strategy is a pretty simple one. I'm buying puts. I bought 2 puts at a price of $1.84. The strike price is $200, and the expiration is January 31st of next year. So basically, I am betting that by the end of January, which is right around here, that this is gonna go below 200. In reality, for me to make a profit, it really just has to go below the current price, right? That's the idea. So hopefully it'll go below the current price at some point. I'm really betting for a move toward 200 sometime in the next month. And here's the reason. So there's some technical reasons. It tried to break 230, tried a few times back here, right here, right there. It tried again right here. It failed. Starting to make this downward trend line, right? And of course, you have this big engulfing candle right here. This big red candle here. Those are the technicals. The MACD is starting to roll over. You can see that down here. But let's get in the meat and potatoes of why I'm really buying a put on this. The meat and potatoes is basically, I don't even know if it's in this news feed, but I've been reading a lot just in my news feeds in general, on X, on my Google feed, that I'm just scanning to see if there's anything about it here. But if you've been following Amazon at all, if you've been following the news, you know that Amazon has been coming under fire with the Teamsters, which is a union. It's also been getting a lot of strikes lately. I think the recent news, like yesterday, was that a driver just walked out on a van full of packages. These guys aren't getting treated well, you know, they're not getting paid well, and they have no representation. And I think that's going to come under light. I think it already is, and I think we're going to see more of that in the coming month. So that's kind of what I'm betting on, is more of that news to trickle into the market, and we'll see potentially a dip as shareholders sell a little bit to protect themselves against the risk of not just Amazon drivers, but also Amazon workers, warehouse workers, packaging, distribution, all of those workers going on a strike or becoming unionized and asking for higher wages and better workplace benefits. And if that's the case, obviously that will impact Amazon's bottom line, and that will cause a little bit of sell pressure, downward pressure in the stock. So that is my thesis. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll find out. I think it's an interesting thing to kind of put a little money on and see what happens. It's only two puts, $184, so it's about $300 total. So we'll see what happens during the coming weeks, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, how this works out. So this is something else to follow on the channel. But that's pretty much everything that I've traded this week, everything on my watch list. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any comments about what you've been trading. And if you like this video, please check out my other videos. I have tons of weekly recaps. I'm also going to start a deep dive series that you should see posted probably sometime tomorrow, where I choose one stock to go into a bit more detail, kind of like what I did with Amazon just here. That'll be an ongoing series as well. So lots of content to check out, more content to follow. So if you like this, please give it a like, please share it, please subscribe. I thank you for your subscription. I thank you guys for your support, and I will see you next time. Thanks.